poets from Shakespeare to Shelley to Wordsworth, lines that are of great beauty. Many of them have become moon obsessives. It's also the root of astronomy to a large extent. It's the nearest entity to us in this universe. So we all feel this very strong elemental attraction to the moon. It's got a very special place in our minds, and our hearts, in a sense. It's both an intellectual element on one hand and an incredibly romantic element on another.
The moon is just a natural fascination in itself, and then you're just looking at this moon, the craters, the shades.
I think that the moon is something which is quite important in the culture for a lot of people. But the beginning of watchmaking was to reflect real things, real astronomical things on a watch, and the moon was really early. It was one of the earliest. And we decided to go with the 2836. It's normally a day date. We have taken out the day, and we have used the setting mechanism for the day to set the moon. So this was the good thing on this movement. The setting mechanism was already there, and then we have changed the wheel for the date, because the date wheel is jumping normally in 2836. So we've taken out the jumping mechanism of the date. We have to change the base movement on the date mechanism, and adding a new pinion to this wheel on top, and this is pushing the moon. So we said make it as precise as possible if it's a smart solution. So the smart solution stands also on the priority list. It's not the precision which stands there, but we achieved this precision from 128 years by having only 2 additional wheels to the base movement. So we are taking this advantage.
We have still a big date, because often what's done in the past, that people have taken the date to display the moon phase, but we haven't. And of course, that depth of watchmaking, unfortunately, I don't understand. And this is really what Johannes masters so well.
With what Johannes has done very cleverly, he would argue very simply, he has created a mechanism that allows our moon phase watch to be accurate to within one day every 128 years.
So the ratio between the hands and the moon is that precise that if the hands are over 128 years precise, the moon is out one day.
We wanted it to be beautiful, we wanted it to be focused on the moon and the beauty of the moon, the romanticism of the moon. So the design is very moon focused. This is the moon at its best, if you will. And the moon disc itself is 3D stamped and then placed onto the moon disc as well. And then sitting below the moon, there's a beautiful sort of guilloched wave pattern on the upper surface of the main dial. This represents the tidal formations. There's a real connection, I think, that we as humans have with that piece of rock that is so important to our lives. And it's just a wonderful thing to be able to have something that connects you to that rock on your wrist at all times. So it's that love, if you will, of attention to detail that matters at one level. And then the second aspect is about the accuracy and the precision of a watch. So there's beauty in the mechanism, and there's beauty in the thinking behind the mechanism, because it's beautifully simple. And that, for me, is the power of this C9 Moonphase.